We all want to be loved, and ideally we all want unconditional love. And I'm sure we'd all love to win the lottery to receive free money because it would give us a sense of security and a safety net. And I'm sure most of you have played the game Monopoly, and if you have, you know that every player starts out with $1,500. So what do these three things have in common? Unconditional love, winning the lottery, and Monopoly. They do not come with strings attached, and having a sense of security is one of the basic necessities all human needs according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs in Simply Psychology of March 20th, 2020. However, a study done as reported by CNBC of November 15, 2019, that only 29% of Americans are financially healthy, whereas 54% say that they're financially coping, and 17% say that they're financially struggling. And this was before COVID-19, which means that everything's much worse now. So wouldn't it be nice if we lived in America where the government provided financial help with no strings attached? Well, the idea of universal basic income, or UBI, says that should be the standard policy or reality for all Americans because it would benefit our society as a whole. And today I'm going to discuss some of the economical problems in our society and the reasons behind them, and how universal basic income can be a big part of the solution. Let's look at some of the problems that affect Americans' financial security. First, our American economy has levels of inequality. Our middle class has moved up their income bracket over the years, and the poverty level has remained unchanged. According to NPR of September 10, 2019, 1 out of every 8 Americans lives below the poverty line, which means that they can't sustain living without some sort of government assistance. Programs like Social Security benefits, food stamps, and refundable tax credits kept approximately 38 million people out of poverty in 2018. The second problem is the unemployment rate and the decades of wage stagnation. This is especially true of the working class and that the infrastructure that keeps America moving, since the infrastructure that keeps America moving. There are laborers who build, assemble, or grow things that do not necessarily have college education. But according to the LA Times of May 20th, 2020, this is the population that are most at risk. This leads to the third problem. Even those without jobs that can't pay their bills and live above their means, but Arthur Robert Reich of The System Who Rigged It, How to Fix It of March 24, 2020 says it is not America's fault. The problem is that their means haven't been keeping up with the growth of economy. And these aren't necessarily people who are buying vacation homes, boats, or taking lavish vacations. They're just trying to keep a roof over their head and food on the table at the risk of becoming part of the fourth problem, which is the homelessness. According to LA Times of February 26, 2018, homelessness in Los Angeles County accounts for 25% of our entire nation's homelessness. There are multiple reasons why someone lives on the streets, but the most shocking is the economical homelessness. These people do not want to be in this situation, but they're stuck without assistance. Now that I've discussed 4 of the important problems, I want to look at the causes for America's financial insecurity. One cause or reason is that there are levels of inequality, and it is our capitalist economy allows for a free market, which encourages competition with very little government control, and the idea that hard work will pay off. Well, according to the New York Times of May 1st, 2020, it's the political party in power that has shaped our markets to reward some and harm others. So what does this mean? In simple terms, it means that the rich are getting richer and the middle class are getting poorer. The second cause that affects unemployment is the increase in technology, which has replaced a lot of human labor. Machines, computers, and even robots are replacing humans, and it has to do with the supply and demand in our national population that has increased higher than the job market, creating lots of competition. And of course, the pandemic has caused a lot of unemployment levels to skyrocket. The third cause is the increased cost of living, which will affect Americans failing to live their means, and why a big chunk of people are homeless. And according to the JFF.org of August 31st, 2018, someone earning minimum wage is not making a living wage. And this would not support a family of two. The cost of living has increased disproportionately to wages increasing. Jobs are high in demand with little supply. And one contributor to wage stagnation that makes a living above a means a cycle is hard to overcome. After looking at the problems and causes, I will talk and focus on the main solution, which is universal basic income. Universal basic income, or UBI, is a guaranteed minimum income for all. It does not discriminate, have restrictions, or have pre-qualifiers like welfare and disability. It is not based on if you have a job or not. And it is a government check, according to New Yorker of July 9th, 2018, that can boost prosperous times or guard against starvation in bad ones. It can be the difference to help live on, but it is not meant to live on well. It's a new economic framework to help build resiliency, and Nancy Pelosi, who's the Speaker of the House, is one of the proponents in these direct payments, an agreement that each person over the age of 18 who makes under $100,000 per year should receive $1,000 per month. And each child should also receive $500 per month as a way to protect our citizen from unemployment. It will directly benefit our working class, she says, which is the heart and soul of America. Now, the biggest question is how to pay for this UBI. Those opposing it state that the federal government, that the cost the federal government will have is about $3 trillion a year, which is about 75% of the yearly expenditures. And according to Bloomberg of October 29th, 2019, if all other welfare programs are cut and taxes for the top 1% are increased, this could work. They say, and a better way to help the homeless is to give money to them. There are still more studies and specific models that need to be written and then lobbied for. With the coronavirus stimulus package, more policymakers seem to be willing to listen to the UBI that could be adopted in our very near future. So in conclusion, now I have talked about UBI as a viable solution, I want to remind you that this will help close the gap of our economic equality. It will boost everyone's savings or investment ability during good times, and even help those close the gap of wage stagnation. But it will be a safety net during difficult times. If universal basic income became a reality, it would be a policy that would put money in the pockets of Americans with no strings attached. Thank you.